Hey folks, we are back from summer vacation. If you didn't see what we were doing, check out my last video update. I did talk about where we were and actually shot it in the location that we were at. So if you're new, go check that out and see where we were for our summer vacation. But of course, getting back from summer vacation means that there's lots going on. We've been super busy. The kids are in camp, the wife and I are both working, and we're obviously getting ready for the school season when the kids are going back, trying to get the kids into different things and so on and so forth. So this video update is going to be fairly short. I'm going to touch on one thing we did while we were away as a recommendation for travel, and then we're going to talk quickly about my portfolio. When the next video comes out, when the kids are back in school, hopefully I'll get right back into the swing of things with some other content. If you do have suggestions for content, please leave it in the comments. I'm more than happy to entertain that. Remember, this is a beginner channel. It's focusing on beginners as we all learn. And if you got some great ideas, shoot them my way and I'll have a look and see what we can do to make a video out of them. My name's Darren. This is the Crazy Canuck Investor, where I try to make investing a little bit easier for beginners, because let's face it, there's nothing that gets you ready for that first day of your investing journey. And I do it by sharing my journey with all the ups and downs along the way. All right, so while we were away, we're always finding new things to do. I touched on the campground that we were at, and now that we're investing, of course, we're looking at our money in a slightly different way, which simply means that being an investor doesn't mean just throwing all your money in the stock market and it turns into gajillions of dollars. You need to be smart with your money. And so we're trying to make some better decisions about the money that we spend while we're either at home or on vacation. In this case, my wife and I came across an opportunity that was $0. And who doesn't like something that's free? That, of course, is Halfway Hot Springs. Halfway Hot Springs is located about 20 minutes north of Canuck, British Columbia. The drive there is pretty scenic along the side of Arrow Lake. And then you take a sharp turn, you hit on a logging road. The trip's about 8 to 10 kilometers up the logging road, but it's not what you think. It's pretty picturesque and scenic. The road is really well maintained. When you get to the end, it is a recreational campsite here in British Columbia, so you can actually camp up there as well as just take a day trip. Once you get into the parking lot, it's pretty simple. You park, and then there's a nice little scenic hike that goes down the bank down to the river. This is a natural hot spring, which is why it's free. Now, they have spent some time and energy to put facilities in place to change in, and then it's really up to the users to decide how they're going to use the pools. As you can see here, there are 3 separate pools at the top of the area, and each one of them is a different temperature. Now, this water is coming directly out of the ground, and of course, it needs to be mixed with a little bit of cool water, so they've taken some time to actually put that in place. And the water actually comes, the cold water comes from the creek that's located right next to it. And if you travel a little bit further down creek, there's actually another couple of natural springs that actually run right into the creek, which is awesome, because then you get the real exposure to the creek, the hot water, which, by the way, is absolutely stifling hot as it comes out of the ground. So it does need to mix with some of that cool water from the creek. Now, we really enjoyed this, and if you're looking for an adventure, very scenic, that doesn't cost you anything, you should check out Halfway Hot Springs, just outside of Canuck, British Columbia. Okay, let's jump over into the portfolio. So the portfolio is up to $144,684. And of course, my account is made up of 4 separate accounts. Those accounts are my cash account, my TFSA, which is the star of the show, and my RRSP, and of course, our kids' RESP. Now, you're watching me build my TFSA from 0 to maxing that account out. The cash account's up to $24,765. It's earned $40 in interest, and over the last month, we earned $106.72 in interest. Jumping over into the RESP, it's up to $68,098. We keep making our $200 contributions every 2 weeks into that account, and we're growing it quite quickly. The RRSP is up to $17,383, and it made a big change. All right, so looking here, we had XEI, TRP, and QQQY pay out dividends. I have DRIP set on. HYLD paid out a dividend, VRE and HYLD.U, which is the American version, and Tesla. And then, of course, DRIP set up, so Tesla reinvested back in, VRE was a reinvestment, and HYLD as well as the American and the Canadian version. So here is the big change that I made. TRP is a stock that I bought when I first started investing. You can see I have $854 in Canadian funds, which is 14.2262 shares. I'm getting rid of it. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and sell this entire position. Of course, this is pretty simple with Wealthsimple. With a touch of the finger, you type in how many shares you want to sell. It's going to tell you what the amount will be when you sell it. You hit submit, and boom, magically, all of those shares are sold. Now, we do have fractional shares because Wealthsimple allows this. So we need to sell off those fractional share of 22.62, which equals $13. So we'll go ahead and action that as well. Why am I getting rid of this position? Really, I don't know much about this company other than it's a pipeline company. And I didn't want to keep it anymore. $841 in Canadian cash that we need to switch over. So we have to transfer that money into US funds. Now I do get hit with that 1.5% fee exchange, but I can't do anything about it because the money already exists in the account. Now I do have a couple of videos on how to convert your funds to save money when you're converting it to US funds, but in this case it's already there. I can't make those savings. So here we go, converting that money over, $841 in Canadian funds, zapped over to become US funds. It's quick and easy with Wealthsimple. If you're not started with Wealthsimple, check out the comments below for my link. We have $645 now in US funds. There was about $43 in there before. We're going to use passive to help us figure out what we want to buy. It's going to be pretty straightforward given the amount of money, but I always like to check because I have my asset allocation set up. It's telling us we should buy 1 share of AVUV and we should buy 1 share of VU. Now, of course, VU is a pretty expensive stock, but it is a great performing ETF, and that's why we're buying it. So here we go. We're going to buy 1 share at roughly $498 of VU. Pretty simple with Wealthsimple. Punch it in, hit send, off it goes. You have your share purchase just like that. Can be done absolutely anywhere. And of course, now we have a little bit more money left over, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to buy that 1 share of AVUV. So we just select it. It's $90. Punch in the amount of shares we want, and of course we're going to send that off. Always want to check, make sure you're buying the right thing. There we go. We bought 1 share of AVUV. And then lastly, there's a little bit of money left over in the account, which equates to approximately 56 US dollars, pardon me. So we're going to check passive again, see what we want to do with it. So we update passive. It shows us our asset allocation. We can see that we have 34% of the asset allocation of 44% for VU. And as we go down, it looks like some are overweighted a little bit and most are right on target. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to buy a fractional share of VOO. So simply go over, you change what you're going to purchase, make it a fractional share. In this case, it's based on the dollar amount. So we drop down to the next box, we type in $56.01, and then it calculates the amount, which will be 0.1125 of a share. We hit send, boom, and that is done. So there you have it. We made a sale of TRP because I didn't want to keep the position anymore. We're up to 17,384 this time. Next time, it'll be a little bit more as it grows. The TFSA is at $34,160. For the day, it's showing down $21. Over the week, it's up $1,122, which is 3%. Over the last 1 month, it's down to $461. The markets did take quite a dip recently. And over the last 3 months, we're at $820 positive. And 1 year returns $3,374. And the all-time returns are $3,548. Today, of course, we still have stock lending switched on in the TFSA. We've earned a total of $1.19. Not a lot, but it's money that I didn't have before, so we're going to keep that turned on, keep loaning those stocks out, and continue to earn the money from that. Okay, looking at the activity tracker, HYLD paid out a dividend, REI paid out a dividend, VRE. And of course, we have drip set on, so then those were all reinvested back into those VRE, REI, and HYLD, continuing to grow our portfolio. Of course, to do our biweekly pays or purchases, we need to drop $1,000 in there, so we're going to grab that from the cash account, drop it in over into the TFSA. Again, with Wealthsimple, super easy. Here we have our asset allocation for the TFSA, 91% accurate. We now have $1,000.16 to go ahead and invest, and passive is the tool we're going to use to help us decide what to buy. We're going to buy 1 share of Plaza REIT. We're going to buy 2 shares of QQC, which is the NASDAQ 100. We're going to buy 2 shares of REI. We're going to buy 3 shares of VFV, which is the S&P 500, which is the sister, I guess you might say, of VU, but in Canadian funds. We're going to buy 1 share of VRE, which is a REIT ETF. We're going to buy 3 shares of XEC. We're going to buy 6 shares of XEF. We're going to buy 2 shares of XEI. And finally, we are going to buy 3 shares of XIC. And of course, I'll save you the experience of watching me buy them because you saw me do it in the beginning of the video. Go ahead and do that. Again, short video, not much to report, just simply the bi-weekly update. We are growing this account. It's growing over time. It's compounding, and that's what you want. If you liked what you saw here, give it a thumbs up. Smash the like, share it with your friends, help other beginners by getting the word out there, and go ahead and buy me a coffee. The link is in the description if you feel like supporting the channel. And if you want to figure out how to convert funds for less money, you should watch this video right here.